Welcome to Urban Legends with your hosts, Smartwatch, Neil and Chris, and Lucas Speaker.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Urban Legends, the podcast about urban legends and adjacent topics. I am man from Kent who moved to Goa and started calling himself a guru, Chris Flynn. And with me, as always, is owner and proprietor of Brighton's latest 50s-style diner. It's Mr.
Neil Herbert.
Neil Herbert.
Yeah,
How
do you
you
like,
doing?
put a little bit of a 50s edge into that.
Oh,
A little bit of
Herbert.
happy days.
Oh, Neil Herbert, thank you very much. Neil, how's your week been? How's the grand opening of the 50-style diner gone?
Not as well as I'd have liked, Chris.
Oh, really?
The greasers came round and started all sorts of trouble.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah.
With their chains?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, they had those like flick hair combs, and they were
really?
sort of, aggressively combing their greasy hair all over the antimacassars and stuff.
Were they original flips? So they were like pensioners, really old people, or
Yeah,
were
they were all in
they
their 90s.
really?
Yeah.
So, came in on their mobility scooters.
Came on their melon biscuits, bumping into people.
Yeah.
One of them had forgotten to wear his, elderly diaper, so I had to clean up after him.
Really? They kept calling people Daddy-O?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, be cool, Daddy-O.
Yeah.
Did they drink lots of...
Trying to chat up the 70-year-old waitresses.
Oh, so you got them as... Is it mainly old people?
It's kind of
you're
part cafe, part hospice, to be honest with you.
So you weren't kind of opening it kind of as a fun sort of 50s theme thing. It was actually for people who were around in the 50s.
Yeah. It's a sort of place to die, really. Yeah.
Okay. So are you getting
They
money?
remind you of the good old days as well.
Yeah, happier days, could say. So do you get money for the government? Do they bring people straight from hospitals?
It's mostly a tax scam. Yeah. I mean,
mostly a tax scam.
Yeah.
Are you finding
really give a shit about the 50s? It's
Yeah.
I mean, a combination of running the hospice and getting a load of knockoff 50s furniture from that boutique diner that closed on the seafront.
Oh, okay. Nice.
The all-American.
Yeah. So you've got kind of old people and you make them sit on kind of bar stools so they fall off presumably and back to hospital.
Saves a lot of money on
elder care.
On medicine and stuff, yeah.
Right.
It's a more natural way of going about things,
More natural way of thinning the herd.
Yeah.
Just get them to fall off stools.
Whatever works,
So do you play 50s music? Do you have a jukebox or anything like that?
Yeah, we'll play a bit of Max Miller or, I'll shove up at the phone and just pop on 50s Spotify playlist, to be honest with you. That seems to be the truth.
Oh, okay. So you've just...
Don't write them like they used to. You say that every so often.
So you just got like... you got like a cardboard cutout of a jukebox, like laying against the wall. Yeah,
and I've shine a light through a bit where I've just put like a carrier bag so it kind of like vaguely like. So yeah.
Nice. And with like foil on it. So like a children's art project.
Felt tip some of it in red so it looks like it's like red chrome.
And is it true that, because this is what I've heard, that you dress them up in like 50s stuff, like leather jackets or like those 50s dresses, and you charge people to peer in through the window at them like a zoo?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That is true.
Yeah, you can, if you want to come down, that's that for £7 a person, that's well worth your while. You've never seen anything else like it.
£7 a peep. Look at the old folks. That kind of...
It's very endearing.
Yeah, do you get them to do the 50s dance, all the twirling and that?
The Lindy Hops and the...
Lindy Hops, the...
Spoofy Doos.
The
back and forth, the twist.
Squiggle Wiggles.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Do any of them wear kind of...
don't really know much about the 50s.
I haven't got a clue.
They do drive pink Cadillacs down Route 66.
Yep. Do they have
Well, James Dean
crashes
into the Lindy Hopper with Buddy Holly driving it.
Crashes into the spruce moose.
Gary Vellans in it, yeah. The big hopper.
Do some of them wear like the American sort of air jackets? You know, like with the sheepskin and like a picture of like a woman sort of in front of in front of a plane on it, because they were like in the
that's more 40s, but yeah, you know.
Well, they still had the jackets. That was the thing, wasn't it? It's part of the style.
Yeah, they're taking it from home, yeah.
Yeah, from
maybe a samurai sword that they captured from the Pacific War.
do you allow the old people to have samurai swords?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh yeah. Well, again, any accident's a good accident, isn't it? And what kind of stuff do you give them? 50s foods like boigas?
Yeah, a lot of TV dinners and
TV dinners.
Yeah, or diner food, depends on how much money they've got.
Oh yeah, of course.
You're starting
scale.
If you're state funded, then you get like one of our lovely TV dinners, and it's mostly oats. But if you pay yourself,
it's an oat style grain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have an oat style grain. Why not? Okay, and so it's going well. Are you thinking of opening up any more?
Well, I'm looking to start franchising out across the country because
Yeah.
Fortunately, I'm in advanced talks with our current government because NHS isn't cutting it. Let's face it.
Well, our care system's in the gutter, isn't it?
Well, it's just. I mean, they just don't. They've not got this hard business sense that I have to be able to sort of run things. So better give the money to me.
You and the guy
from a pay rise on nurses.
Weatherspoons.
Yeah, exactly. Me and Tim Martin or whatever his name is. Yeah, we'll make it work.
And also, it's entertaining, isn't it, for people because they can kind of point.
Why shouldn't it? Why shouldn't it be? Why hospice has got to be grim all the time?
Have you
the place where your loved ones are going to die? What's wrong with that?
I'm asking this, Neil, but I already know the answer. Yeah. Have you thought about sort of 24-hour CCTV that you can then watch on a pay-per-view internet channel?
Thought about implemented and sold.
Lovely.
Packaged to the appropriate parties. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Good stuff.
Avenue stream has been thoroughly explored. Don't worry.
Beautiful.
But I like the cut of your jib. So if you're thinking about you want to do any kind of like any marketing or consultancy, we can have a conversation around that. Get you on this. Maybe even start to pick up one of these franchises.
Well, I don't have a lot of capital, so probably not.
That's why you get a loan from someone else, isn't it? You know the right people.
I don't know any people.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, someone's buzzing at my door. Bear with me.
Go for it. Someone else's Amazon parcel?
No, it was the most brilliant interruption that I've ever had. Right. So I went to the door and there was a guy, like a really little guy, kind of with about 8 coats on and a hat. He looked a bit like Jamiroquai. He was going, nice. Is there a guy called Vinny lives here? I went, no, I don't think so. What, none of the flats? No. Oh, all right, then off.
Should have invited him in and put him on a podcast.
No.
His video on the screen. Let's talk to him about ghosts.
He was such a funny little lad. Yeah, he looked like a sort of Muppet or something.
Maybe he was a member of Jamiroquai. Maybe Vinny is as well. I don't know.
Maybe it was Jay Kay.
Yeah.
Could have been.
He's a little fella, isn't he?
He is a little fella, yeah.
Yeah. Did he look like he'd done quite a bit of coke in his time?
I think he looked like he was probably on something now.
He's a squirrely little fella, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe.
I think he might have just met JK.
Maybe, yeah. Well, we'll leave all this in.
Yeah.
So that's what it's like living around here, people.
And
to
so
be fair, that's the first time that's happened in this flat. It used to happen a lot more when I lived in the centre of town.
I can imagine. And is it happening anymore now? You become a guru in Goa?
Yes. So I moved from Sevenoaks to Goa, and because I've been doing
Search of Enlightenment.
Yeah, Search of Enlightenment. So I've been doing yoga down the local community centre.
Nice.
And I felt it was really connecting with me.
Really centering, yeah.
It was really centering me. And so I finished my last contract. I was doing contract. I'm a Well, I was in a previous life. I was.
Would you describe yourself as spiritual but not religious, Chris?
I would have done, but now I would say I'm religious as well.
Okay.
Because I feel that the God speak through me, and I found that in Goa, and so
that was an interesting implement.
So I've become a good. Well, you know, we're all the instruments of the gods, and so I've become a guru, and so I'm staying out in Goa now. I use some of my savings to buy a compound, and
nice.
Me and my followers live there.
Yeah. How many wives?
Huh?
How many wives?
I don't believe in marriage.
Oh, okay. No.
But I do believe that
polygamy.
I believe that by having relations with me is the closest way for you to not only get closer to, but to please God.
Yeah.
So
God likes to watch, doesn't he?
God enjoys watching, and he's
especially
working.
When Chris is involved.
He's working through me.
That's his favourite.
Yeah, exactly. He's working through me. So, the people are free to come and go. Obviously, donations are required to leave.
Yeah, fair enough.
And, it's a pretty even split, 80-20 female to male.
Well, yeah.
The males obviously have to give a vow of chastity, as I did myself, because obviously I'm not doing anything. It's the God.
No, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Important distinction there.
Very important distinction. So yeah, it's going well. Are you interested in giving up this false reality which you live in?
No, I quite like this false reality.
Do you quite like it?
Fond of it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll keep it going on for a bit. Curious though, but yeah, no, I'd come round and have a look, see what's going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you're welcome. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. We do packages on our website if you're interested in.
Affordable? Would you say?
Yeah, I'd say it's affordable. But obviously, if you want to join the group, you do have to shed all your worldly possessions. So
okay, into your pocket, presumably.
No, it goes into the trust's pocket to help run and spread the word of my guru-ness.
Yeah.
If that's a word.
It definitely isn't, but that's fine. Let's roll with it. I mean, you're the guru, so why shouldn't it be?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I do make up a lot of
defined language.
Well, I make up a lot of words which only we know as well.
Well, you're just sort of revealing them, aren't you, to the world?
I'm revealing them through. I spend a lot of the day in meditation, communing with the gods. To the uninitiated, it might look like I'm sleeping or stoned, but I'm meditating. And then, then I hand out tasks that need to be performed to cleanse your chi, and
chakras fully aligned. Yeah,
you've got to have. Yeah, you've got to do some sweeping if you want your chakras aligned.
Yeah,
bit power.
Been hoarding any guns recently?
Look, at the end of the day, we're a peaceful group, but we will defend ourselves.
Push comes to shove,
Push comes to shove.
Oh my God, you best not miss.
I have become the guru. I have been told that although we're pacifistic, you are allowed to defend yourself. And I'd like anyone who's listening, particularly the Indian police state, that if they do come onto my land, then we will defend ourselves with the full righteousness of the Lord's.
There you go.
We're not hurting anyone, Neil, purposefully, and we don't expect to be hurt.
Well, who could say more?
Who could say more? So if you want to join us, that is Chris Flynn -guru?.com. And you can get a package or just come and have a look and see the good work we're doing.
Is there a simple, 6-question test people can take to see if they're gullible enough? Sorry, I mean, in search of spiritual enlightenment enough to come and, investigate your cause?
Yeah. So the first one is, are you a woman? Second one is, do you have a good relationship with your father?
Yeah,
The third,
okay. See,
third one
this is going.
the third one is, have you ever been in a cult before? The fourth one is...
If yes, fast track through.
Yeah, the fourth one is, are you estranged from your family?
Yeah.
The fifth one is, or willing to be. The fifth one is, have you had or do you have any issues with substance abuse? And the sixth one is, are you willing to move to India?
Yeah, well, nothing creepy or controversial about that. Still seems
Simple question, just absolutely normal questions.
Just,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you have it.
There you go. So I would encourage everyone to join me. But it's not. People think that religion and being a guru and stuff is all very serious and very boring. But I'd like to disprove that by today joining in this podcast, which is a bit more light-hearted.
Well,
Neil,
yeah.
And what light-hearted subject do you on your podcast, which I'm guesting on, want to approach today?
It's a light-hearted tale of a little lad who lives in Scotland who rolls around in his own filth eating rats.
Yeah, I'd start doing my Scottish accent.
Oh yes, I think we might end up with a few more. So
More complaints.
So Greenock, near Glasgow. That'll give you a hint of where you can. So we're going to go. There's a few different sources on this. I think it's quite a well-known one around Scotland, but I don't know. It's you see a few Reddit threads where people are divided between whether they believe it or not, and a lot of heard it. Been around since the 70s, apparently. So there's quite a bit, and there's quite a few photos and things as well. So there's documentary evidence. Yeah, there's been a video about 16 years back, and there's quite a few photos of this chap.
But Neil, please tell me, what is the name of this creature?
This is the Greenock Catman.
The Greenock Catman.
Indeed. So I'm going to read you an article from, I think we'll start with Week in Weird. Which
We're doing quite a lot of Animal Man at the moment, aren't we?
there's a fair few, yeah. Maybe we'll need to sort of mix it up a little bit.
That's all right.
I don't know. You know what? When I do a little bit of research to figure out what we're going to do each week, I just kind of like find one that tickles me. So this one,
you just type into Google percentage sign man.
Yeah. Batman. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds a bit like Batman, but
better.
Yeah. Well,
cats are better than bats.
Well, undoubtedly, that's true.
I like them. I do like them both, but a cat would beat a bat.
I mean, you wouldn't have a bat as a pet, would you?
I would, yeah.
No, fair enough. Probably not that tameable, I would imagine. But
I mean, if it'd been, it's a wild animal. You don't want to hand drew it, but I mean, if you did like it, if you found it,
if you become mates with a bat or something, that'd be all right.
Yeah,
but come down and just like
start hanging out
with
with
grape
it.
or something.
He could be your wingman.
Right, enough of this. So, Week in Weird is the blog that we're going to go from.
What?
Week in Weird.
Okay.
So it's a sort of paranormal blog, I guess. So it's investigations, weird news, ghosts and hauntings, and strange phenomena. I'm not sure under which of these it's there, but so this is tracking down the legendary Greenock Catman, Scotland's glowing-eyed rat-eating mystery. By Greg Newkirk.
Right.
And if you're wondering if he gets fed anything from the kebab shop, don't worry, that's coming up later.
Lovely.
So, every town has its local legends, stories of mysterious creatures that have become the fodder for whispered conversations around campfires and bar stools.
We don't have any here. There isn't really any legends. Yeah.
You do.
Of creatures.
Not creatures, but we tend, folklore-wise, it's more like things like the Devil's Dyke and stuff like that. You get these kind of...
that's very like pagan.
Yeah.
And there's the thing that I think it's the Black Horse pub, or it might be the Cricketers, but apparently one of the suspects, who was Jack the Ripper, used to live there. Kind of got that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of moider and stuff, hasn't there, in Brighton? So they do like murder tours and that kind of thing.
Yeah, you'll get things like that.
But we don't have like the Squirrel Man of Preston Park.
No, there isn't. I think because it's quite a busy place, Brian. So I don't think you're not going to get too many feral people.
Someone would have seen him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's plenty of feral people. One knocked on my door.
Well, that's true. Yeah, Jay Kay is currently doing the rounds, apparently. Well, mind you, quite a few people have seen this person. So there's a fair bit of photographic evidence. So, but yeah, Brighton, I don't know. We'll have to look into that at some point. But yeah, not so many of the old urban legends. You get a few bits of folklore around Sussex. That tends to be, hundreds of years old, etc. Anyway,
if not thousands,
indeed. Stories of mysterious creatures that become fodder for whispered conversations around campus bustles. Some, like the legend of the Jersey Devil, gain nationwide attention, or worldwide attention, I'd say, with the Jersey Devil, while other tales, such as that as the Burlington Bogeyman, rarely leave the communities of their origins. So there we go, Chris had that one to the spreadsheet, Burlington Bogeyman.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. So, one such local legend has long been a secret held by the town of Greenock, Scotland, the mysterious rat-eating Catman. Anyway, scenic fishing town of Greenock, just 25 miles west of Glasgow, prides itself on its rich maritime history. It's spot among Scotland's top 50 walking trails and its beautifully restored Victorian buildings. Although, funnily enough, I was reading on Reddit and again, I don't know, this is kind of like people, dissing each other's cities or whatever, or towns. There are a few people sort of reckoning it wasn't terribly salubrious place to live. Salubrious place to live. It was kind of like they were kind of giving it some.
Yeah, they do that, don't they?
I don't know. Not been to. Don't really know.
It's quite a small town. They've got Greenock Morton, who are the football team. I know that.
Yeah, I mean it looks nice. There's a picture here of looking out over to the sea. So, I mean, because there's just loads of Scotland, there's just lots of green areas, I think. So even in sort of like where it might not be the kind of a bit more industrialised or whatever, there's quite a lot of there's a lot of mountains and stuff in the background, so it all looks very pretty and
it looks nice enough, doesn't it?
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
Nice views. But when the sun sets and night is descended upon its shores, the residents of Greenock know that something is creeping in the darkness, watching them silently as they hurry back to their homes.
There's something creeping in the darkness.
Gonna continue.
Is watching us while we sleep in our homes.
Although he doesn't seem that scary a fellow when you get into it. But anyway, they're running with that. So for many years, the only evidence of the Catman was second-hand tales of glowing eyes in the darkness. Or a friend who swears he's seen the black figure crawl out of a drainage pipe, a dying rat dangling from its jaws.
Yeah, the dying rat dangling from its jaws. I'll stop with that.
To some, the Catman was a cryptozoological beast, the last of its kind living on the edges of society.
Oh, it's like us.
Yeah. Well, I am half Griffin.
You are half Griffin, that's true.
You get 10 million of those to the pound.
Lovely beak.
Yeah. Oh. To others, the legend of the Catman was the work of local pranksters intent on scaring the drunk stumbling out up at night.
Hey, did you see that? I look like a Catman.
To be fair, depending on what level of inebriated or whatever it is that you've done, it's kind of like it's quite easy to confuse the size of things. Yeah.
Hey, you know that? Hanging out of this mess.
No, that was just a cat with a mouse. It wasn't a man-sized cat. So even the police, who often fielded reports about Catman sightings, were unsure what to make of the stories. But, and here's the twist, because as I say, reading around, and I'll come onto some of the Reddit stuff later on, but, people talk about it having been around since the 70s. But in the late 2000s, a pixelated video captured on a cell phone changed all of that. The Catman was real.
Oh.
And so...
Have you seen it?
I have seen it. So I played this back. And what was to say? Google YouTube Catman of Greenock people. And what you'll see is a man all kind of slathered in like motor oil or something like that, or just he's so covered in filth. He's just kind of like his hands and his face are all sort of like completely sort of dark.
Fucking hell.
And yeah, you'll see it. Or you could just if you're listening in front of a computer, then Google some photos as well. There's a lad with a rat hanging out of his mouth, and it's like a Scottish lad just having a conversation with him, like, you're right there, boy. You're enjoying your rat, yeah. And then what's a bit weird as well is that the Catman gives him a thumbs up, but it is.
Hey, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I've got me that. It does look, unfortunately, like he looks a bit like a minstrel.
Yeah, it's because he's all covered in soot. It does look like kind of like somebody. I mean, it's like the whole blackface thing, but it's not. It's not done in a kind of.
No, it's not meant to.
Yeah, it's not done in that sort of intentional style or trying to be, caricature or what have you. It's just the guy just covered in soot, basically. But
or mud.
Or mud. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's.
Is this meant to be him then?
Well, here's the thing, and we'll get into whether or not this.
I mean, this is like really obviously just someone's done this. They've just put mud all over a bloke, and he's gone. I'll pretend to be the cat man. I'll sit there something in.
See, the thing is, okay, so you got to make your own mind up about whether.
Yeah, I've made my mind up.
Mine
was made up half a second into it.
Yeah, I'm speaking to the listener because
okay.
But yeah, like you, Chris, I kind of just thought this is somebody who's like, they've clearly just staged this. This is a bit of
I mean, I don't normally do this, but I would suggest going and have a look at it because it's just fucking funny.
Yeah, no, you absolutely should, and have a look at the YouTube video as well. It's worth what. Because I think
just like some old, it looks like it's about 55. It's got bald in.
It looks like some 55-year-old drunk. Yeah, if they've his mates have managed to get him to dress up like it's like an ultimate Halloween prank. But I'll tell you how they've committed to the bit. That does look like a dead animal, like a dead rat that he's shoving in his mouth. And this is the thing. It's kind of like,
hey, don't worry about that. I'll just use a real rat.
Because it's not like the sharpest of footage. You can't exactly tell, but that doesn't. If it's like a stuffed toy or something, that's extremely well made. So, like, they're committed to the bit if he's actually shoving a dead rat or something in his mouth.
Neil, an artist must commit.
Oh, no, exactly. And yeah, the thing as well that makes it really, it's supposed to be this kind of like, I mean, we'll get into the sort of origins later on. And to be fair, this goes back to the 70s, so it could be that this is like a prank that he's played on the actual urban myth.
I think that's what it is.
This is the documentary footage that we've got.
Documentary.
But it's interesting anyway. Documented, whether you believe it or not. It's
very funny.
But yeah, on the YouTube video, and then it's just like a guy who's like, just like, you're right there, right there. And the Catman does like a thumbs up.
Hey, I'm fine. Don't
Which
worry
just
about
made me laugh because, I mean, if he's like this semi-feral individual, is he still knowing what a thumbs up is? And then he's like, you're out there, boy.
Yeah.
And then he starts putting.
I may be feral, but I'm not fucking rude.
Yeah. So he seems like a nice lad, the Catman. He's just having a chat with the cameraman. He's
keeping the rat population down.
I'd probably ring social services afterwards, to be honest with you.
Get him into one of your 50s diner style covered accommodations.
You put the cat among the pigeons, literally. The Catman amongst the...
I'm not going back to shelter accommodation. I prefer it here in the sewers.
Well, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? But...
man needs his freedom.
I mean, and this is one of the theories that they've had about him. So the clip showed that the Catman wasn't some kind of undiscovered monster, but a human after all.
Human.
As the cameraman spoke,
are you human?
Human. Why are you human eat rats?
Why human in sewer?
Human
confusing. I go now. Back to the stars.
So he lifted a dead rat to his face, black with soot and dirt.
What is human?
Yeah, surprise. And then gave the camera a thumbs up with his mouth full of rat. So as you can imagine, the video was passed around the youth of Greenock, becoming the hot topic of local discussion.
Hot topic. It's not a big town.
No, it's not a lot going on.
It's not a big town.
You've seen this lunatics. The thing is as well, like, if he's a local, you'd imagine somebody would recognise him.
That's Jim Harris. What the fuck's he doing? He works in a newsagents. Hey, Jim, is this you? Oh, no, that's the Catman.
Yes.
No, it's not. That's you, Jim.
I didn't eat the rats.
Are you eating a rat, Jim? What's going on? Oh, no, that's not me. That's the Catman.
Ever since Genie left you, I've been worried about you. This is getting a bit fucking fierce.
Jim, you've been hitting the bucky a bit too hard.
Yeah, this is the other thing. Yeah, maybe it's just, this is what happens after teaming Bucky's. Yeah.
It's a drunken prank, isn't it? The thing is, I can imagine doing stuff like that.
A lot with dead rat, though. But yeah, no, I can imagine. I mean...
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe if on drugs.
That's true.
you'd weigh up how good's the video going to be to the likeliness of getting sick.
Yeah.
And you think, as long as I don't break the skin, I'll probably be all right.
Probably be all right, you know. And anyway, they've got cures of Weil's disease now, presumably.
Yeah, exactly.
Hepatitis for various strains. So, yeah, it gets uploaded to the internet, became the talk of message boards and email chains.
Walk of the town.
And apparently even the social work department, the Greenock social work department, took notice of the video, telling the local papers they'd sent one of their caseworkers out searching for him, but they wound up empty-handed.
Even the Greenock social work department released a statement saying this was the one thing we didn't want to happen.
And what's great as well
this is not painting us in a good light.
Yeah. Well, things really haven't gone to shit.
Like, do you know who this is?
Look, we'll be honest, we haven't been paying a lot of attention the last 10 years or so.
Of Scotland.
Well, we didn't expect people to be eating rats out of dumpsters. But you've got various photos of him here, and there's like one where he's up by a chain link fence with his thumbs up, then another one where he's got his rat in his mouth under a tyre. Yeah, so he's just catches from a few angles. And it's all in broad daylight, so it just looks quite ridiculous.
One of him at a book signing. Yeah. one of him coming out on the pitch at half time at Greenock Morton. In a Scottish Championship
game. Famous local Catman.
Please put your hands together for the Catman.
No, Catman, you really want to be eating rat? Well, it tastes better than your pies.
Oh, no.
You see what they put in that shape? I'll stick with a rat, thank you.
Oh, he's a joke. He's got a funny bone, this one.
So no one's quite sure how long he's been lurking in the alleys and tunnels of Greenock, but some of the earliest reports date to the mid-70s. Some claimed he was a Russian sailor that was stranded in Scotland, forced to live off the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he might have, just wanted to escape the USSR.
So I know that, right at the north of Scotland, there's a place called Ullapool, and that was always a stop-off point for Russian ships.
Yeah.
And so people used to buy moody vodka there, and the Russians would all go out there and get pissed.
You could jump, couldn't you? Jump ship and then go. This is like a really down-to-earth version of Rambo. We can eat things
instead of going and killing everyone, he just goes and lives in the sewers, eats rats.
Yeah. Well, there's not like a local sheriff like Brighton Denny who's just going to bother him. So they're just like, that's fine, boy. You want to live in the sewers, let's get on with it.
I'll be honest with you. I am not an ambitious man. I went out to Russia. I'm happy with shelter of sewers and with rat to eat. It's very nutritious.
Yeah, well, I don't want to yuck his yum, if that's what he's about. Crack on, boy.
Yeah.
No worries, Boris. But anyway. So others claimed he was a victim of a mob beating that had broken his legs and left him in hiding. Some reports state Catman was a crazed escapee from a local mental institute.
That's classic.
Yeah. Here in the community, isn't it?
Mob. Got beaten up by the mob in the 70s, and his legs never reset, and he's still hiding.
Exactly, still has to crawl around. It's a living.
He'd have gone home if he could get up the steps.
Yeah, fortunately.
I suppose I live here now.
Acclimatised somewhat.
It's not so bad.
So, despite their wildly varying backgrounds, a few details always remain the same. Catman always crawled. He rarely spoke, and he's always eating rats.
Always.
The one thing is he loves rats. Because I saw something somewhere else as well, and I haven't seen this carried across the other parts, because there was something somewhere where he was raised by feral cats or something like this. Right. But I think that was just someone taking the name and running with it. Right. Everyone else, I think they're calling him Catman just because he eats rats, basically. Yeah. He pulls around on all fours, which, a reasonable description, isn't it?
Yeah. Sure.
There's another photo of him. See, the problem is all the photos, they've done it all in broad daylight and it looks so fucking stupid. There's one of him just he's by a tyre. And he's got his rat in his mouth and he's crawling around. So one report from 2010.
Like a comfort rat.
Yeah. Maybe that's it, yeah.
Oral fixation. That's actually how he gave up smoking.
Yeah. Well, it's better for you.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Better for you than,
what they say.
Marlboro Lights or Buckmaster.
Yeah, Lucky Strike.
Yeah, Lucky Strikes.
He's taken an innovative...
What is that wine? What is the wine called? It's from...
Buckfast.
Buckfast, sorry. I was in Buckminster Fuller in. It's an element. Buckfast, sorry. Yeah, Bucky. Yeah. So, a report from 2010 lends more credence to his cat-like traits. Catman is definitely real.
Climbs trees.
Well, he gave me a hell of a fright. The first time I saw him, it was just getting dark and all I saw were his eyes. His face is totally black like in the video, and he'd lie at Scott's Lane Path in the bushes behind the fence, pointing at cat meat that was left out for cats, asking me to pass it through the fence. I think
was he meowing?
Meow, meow, meow. Falling on the ground. He was a typical cat. So I think he was too scared to go into the path for it. No, it's too lazy, this cat.
Well, cats are nervous.
Here's the part I like. I used to go buy doner kebabs for him when coming home from dancing. He hasn't been seen in ages.
It wouldn't be a night out otherwise.
Yeah. One for me, one for the Catman. Catman likes chili sauce.
Yeah. Garlic mayo for me, none for Catman.
Yeah, he doesn't like garlic.
What park was it?
So, Scott's Lane Path.
See if it's on Google Earth.
It will be, because someone else comments on it. I'll get into this.
No, if he's on it. If he's on Google, okay. If he's on Street View.
You see on Street He's peering out from behind a beard. Oh, it's Catman, don't worry about it. He hasn't been seen in ages since the council put corrugated iron up so he couldn't be fed. Meow. Definitely real, not a myth. He's definitely real, not a myth. I heard young boys gave him a heavy kicking. Young Neds in Greenock are evil. Greenock are evil. Yeah. So Ned for our non-Scottish listeners is a non-educated delinquent, I believe is the term.
Yeah.
So, just young thuggish youth.
Yeah, I mean, why give him a kicking? Just a cat.
I think that, or just, someone is, whatever, if they just like going around. Yeah, it's not, I'm not sure that happened either, to be honest with you.
Probably not.
I think a lot of, spurious tales around what people get up to. It's probably, a bit classist or whatever. Right, so as the legend of the Catman grew more and more into reality...
Not good shopping in Greenock.
Is there?
And an art centre. I wish you go there now.
Another one for the field trip, perhaps.
Yeah.
On the way to Cannock Chase, or...
Well, after.
After Cannock Chase, yeah, good point. As the legend of the Catman grew more and more into reality, the media began to take an interest in the story. In 2010, a local documentarian set out to uncover the truth about the local legend, but was met with roadblocks at every turn. No matter where he went...
You blackballed.
What are they covering up? Those who allegedly knew the true history of the Catman refused to speak on camera.
I'll no tell you a thing about the Catman.
What must be about the Catman? What was supposed to be a feature-length documentary ended up being a 5-minute segment that posed more questions than it answered. And I've not watched that YouTube video because obviously there's nothing to it. But I mean, it's a bit like when famous celebrities go and live in Ireland, isn't it? And they don't want to talk about their neighbours because people just leave them alone.
Yeah,
it's like that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean he is
not going to have you bothering a Catman.
He's a celebrity.
Yeah. So to this day, it seems
for ill or good.
Yeah, for ill or good.
He is Greenock's premier celebrity.
Hey, you got to take what you get.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Work with the tools that you got.
Better than Fatboy Slim.
I mean, he's not going to be doing any parties down the beach, is he? But
no, but he's still active.
Yeah. To this day, it seems that no one knows or will reveal the true identity of Catman, where he's from, or how he ended up living this way in the tunnels of Greenock. His survival for half a century is shocking enough, but maybe not as mysterious as one might think when considering the kindness the locals have attempted to make the man through the years. I think this is a nice part of this story because, when
they're not giving him kicking, get him a kebab.
So I live in Greenock and I can vouch for the Catman. I can vouch that the Catman exists. He's several spots he stays in behind the shops at the bus station or around the abandoned warehouses. The local takeaways leave stuff out for him every now and again. You will find new blankets by one of his areas that someone has left for him. He was institutionalised. This is a very weird way of dealing with one homeless person in your town.
Yeah, they replaced the straw in his hutch.
Yeah. So he was institutionalised.
In 1984, he was caught and spayed.
They vet out every now and again, just to check he's got too many fleas. He doesn't like people, but the people here will make sure he's taken care of as much as he chooses to be. Cups of tea or soup will be left in certain spots. I know one woman who drops
lap up with this rough tongue.
Yeah. I know one woman who drops off a meal every Saturday evening on her way to bingo, and she makes sure he has a hat when it gets cold. I suppose it's the true definition of care in the community.
No, it's not.
No.
Absolutely not.
Not really. You may be playing a bit too much into somebody's delusions if this was actually happening.
Well,
and then there's a picture
this
of the
isn't
guy
care in the community. Like, this is literally how things were in fucking medieval times.
Well, yeah, it's not living on some folly. Look, it's my cat man. feed him chicken tikka kebabs. And it's a picture of him like...
No, he's not a man, he's a cat man.
A cat man, aren't you?
You're a cat man.
Then you go around on all fours.
Don't talk to him.
So he's all greased up and he looks like Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now. And then there's just a guy with taking a photo on his phone, and he's bought him a bottle of mineral water and a bag of chips.
Not packing fags.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Oh, God. Aspirin for a snout. So he's still alive, apparently, if not well. Don't know why they say that.
Oh, we've got to try to find him.
Images surfing as recently as 2015, so he's not been around since then. He's got a Facebook fan page, one that cruelly classifies him as a pet.
Oh.
And it's the same page where it was reported he was sent to a local hospital. He's been around for 4 decades, but maybe the mystery of the Catman will finally be solved. Stay tuned. So
this is really tricky, man, because it looks like, I mean, if that isn't like a fake video of...
Which it very much looks like it is.
Which it looks like it is. But there's so many people talking about it that it's like, is this just like someone who's developmentally disabled who lives in the streets or something? And he's completely slipped through the gaps.
Well, because you do, I mean, I don't know how accurate these things are, but I've heard there's stories around people who, due to basically horrific abuse and stuff, do become effectively feral and will need to be institutionalised for all of their lives, one would assume. You'd be like one of those where it's slit the net and then just feed Nick kebabs on Friday night and stuff. It takes a rather more dark tone than you'd like. If were it to be true. Well, let's have a look at some. There's a few sort of let's have a look. There was a thread on
the bus station, so we know where to start.
On Reddit on R Scotland. Happy birthday to the Greenock Catman. And
this is. I can't figure out if this is really funny or really bleak.
I know, exactly. That's why I like it. And that was like a year and a day ago, Chris. So his belated happy birthday to the Catman, if you're listening.
Which, yeah.
55th.
Which I assume you are.
Why wouldn't you be? You might spurn human society, but it doesn't mean you don't enjoy a podcast.
I mean, most of the people who listen to our podcast have spurned human society.
I imagine that, feral of some description or another. Yeah.
Only joking, listeners.
Much like your hosts. So somebody's put, is that Councillor Chris McClenny? I assume that makes sense to somebody. I'll have to Google it. Second one down from a deleted poster. Holy shit, do people actually believe this is really him? You seriously think this bloke managed to not only survive on a diet of rats and other scraps, but caught them with broken legs and caught enough of them to be this portly? And he does it like a big lad. His photo, it must be said.
Well, I mean, it's a kebab-based diet, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is,
And he's not exactly getting around a lot, is he?
No, he's mostly crawling around. It's fairly sedentary.
Rolling around in mud.
Yeah, it's not
riding around
cardio.
Sexily in mud.
Yeah, and then someone else is saying, holy shit, I looked him up thinking it was a prank. But no, this guy was apparently a Russian sailor. He abandoned his post and started begging in the streets till local Neds broke his legs and jaw. He refused medical treatment and used to crawl everywhere. Hope the poor guy gets some help. And then someone else basically disputes that. And do you really think he would spend the next 40 years crawling around eating rats? Fucking idiot. Yeah, the original stories are from the 1970s, so a lot of people are kind of like, well, we think that these photos are all made up, but there was something in the 70s. Someone wants to send him a present. Someone asking, what is this?
Wonder if the kebab shop that person goes to after dancing is meat in the middle.
Oh, nice. I like a good pun in my kebab shop, man.
Bet it is.
I bet you get a good kebab there as well. Have you ever seen I think we discussed Munchie Box.
We've discussed them many times. Of course we have.
Yeah. I think that's more of a chip shop thing, but yeah. Although I suspect there's a fair bit of...
I'll see if they've got a menu now.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, if they do a Munchie Box.
You can't actually eat them.
And survive. That's how I turn into the Catman.
Is this foreshadowing? Is this whole thing foreshadowing?
Yeah, this whole episode is foreshadowing.
Well, I do a Highlander burger, which is cheese, haggis, and fried onion.
I would.
Would you?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the onions.
You can get it without onions, I'm sure.
Well, they do
haggis.
Well, they do something called the Mighty Box. So
piques my interest.
Burger or wrap with fries, sides, drink, and sauce. But it looks like this is a chain. So let's see what Quincy's fast food does. Oh, it looks more like it. Ooh, F47 takeaway. Pepe's fast food. Anyway, we'll lose all this bit. I'm just talking through. I'm just making you hungry.
Yeah. I'm just thinking if there's anything else. So that's pretty much it. Oh no, here we go. There are different sets of photos about this guy. This photo is likely one of the fake ones. Guy dressed like him, got some photos taken. He was very much real though. Probably died many years ago. I worked at the Greenock Telegraph for a while and was fascinated by the Catman. I had a good relationship with photographers there. One of them showed me pictures he took in the 90s of the Catman at the Wilson bus depot. As for the things about him having his legs broken, etc., probably rumour and urban legend. Nobody knows the real story behind the guy, but he did exist. He did live a feral existence around the area of Scott Street, and he did eat rats. And then a bunch of people saying that if you ate dead rat, you'd be dead in a week. Seems like a fair point, but who knows? There's also been at least one film made about him.
Okay.
It was like a 10-minute. If you look on IMDb, he was... it's
not part of the Marvel thing?
No, it's not the next... It's not the next Ryan Reynolds Marvel movie. Yeah, that's what they're going to do with Henry Cavill.
Oh, right, they're going to get him in.
They're going to DC, actually. Yeah, James Gunn is going to have a...
Well, they get Brad Pitt to play
Catman. Yeah.
Yeah, so Scott Street is where there's a lot of abandoned warehouses. So make of that what you will, Neil.
Yeah, and so there's... Let's say one of these films, Catman's Greenock. Curious creature leads on a journey through the underside of a post-industrial town full on hard times, and that premiered at the Edinburgh International Film Festival.
Oh.
10 minutes though, so it's a short, but yeah.
Well, it's an interesting point of view to take on post-industrialisation, I guess.
Yeah. There's another film by the Absolute Mad Lads, The Catman of Greenock.
Who are the Absolute Mad Lads?
I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Involved with Count Dankula, apparently, who was, one of the less savoury UKIP councillors, shall we say, and leave it at that.
And that's a hell of a title.
Yes. If you know something about UKIP, you've had some pretty awful ones over the years.
Well, I mean, interestingly, Neil, isn't it around sort of that area where we keep all of our stockpile of nuclear missiles in the UK?
Well, it ain't be that far off, so yeah.
Maybe that's something to do with it. Maybe he's a Russian spy trying to get our nuclear secrets, or maybe he got exposed to...
well, it was like...
him and a cat went into a silo together, and then he came out.
Well, it was a very public shaming. It's like, when... Keaton's army came over and did Lachenko, whatever it is. Sorry, I forget the chap's name. He's playing him in his tea.
Yeah.
And the sort of public rebuke of Okay, yeah, I'm not sure how you. I forget his name.
Shenko was a different. They were the ones who they poisoned in Salisbury.
Oh, okay, yeah. Anyway, it's kind of like a very public demonstration as to the,
the state.
Yeah, their power.
So Putin had his legs
maybe
broken.
This was us in a reverse one. It was like, no, I'm thinking like a Russian spy came over and we turned him into a Catman. Then made a film about it in a film festival and made sure the Russians got sight of it and went, this is what happens when you come and fuck with us, pal.
I mean, that does sound
Not just a KGB, you can do that.
That does sound like something that like Boris Johnson would come up with. Well, not if it was anti-Russian, obviously.
No.
Don't want to bite the hand that feeds you.
Absolutely. You never know when you're going to need a cheeky loan, Chris. You're not in a position to hand out honours anymore. Who's going to pay for the wallpaper? That costs $500,000 a year, doesn't it? Somehow.
Have you heard of paint?
Yeah, they're just putting up with it. It was decorated 2 years ago. There we go.
Oh,
another great thing about our current government, they're great at lecturing the rest of us on how we should live our lives and economise, whereas they themselves don't. I think I'll take a private jet to this place, an hour's train ride down the road. But anyway, let's not get into that. But yeah, anyway, there you go. The Catman of Greenock, Chris. He's a cheeky little character.
He's a lovely boy.
Yeah. Don't you know what he's done now, has he?
Unless you're a rat.
That's true.
They're all part of God's pantheon, aren't they? Aren't they, Neil?
I don't know. You're the guru. You tell me.
They are. They are very much so.
Oh, well, there you go.
Won't have them in when they're bad for the vibes at my place.
It's got a sexy time with rats crawling around all over the place. Or catmen for that one, for that man. I don't know. For some, maybe.
Hey,
some find it scary, some find it erotic.
Some find it powerfully erotic.
Crawl over here, boy.
Crawl
I've got something hairy for you to munch.
Crawl your rat-loving ass over here and give me some sugar.
There we go. That took a strange right.
So are we going?
Wondering that was going to happen.
Are we going for our systems?
We may as well, yeah.
All right, Neil. How about spookiness?
So the spookiness here, I think, comes out. I mean, generally not spooky for me because he seems harmless and just. But the spooky part, I think, as you already alluded to, Chris, is the fact that, or the thought that if this was real, which I'm not saying it is, but somebody was
definitely saying
clearly that was definitely real. It's definitely happened. With some kind of difficulties adjusting to life, is crawling around eating rats and things, and people are like, "Oh, it's all right. I'll leave out a bottle of water and get back." So we look after him.
In Russia, rats eat you.
I mean, if you really can't acclimatise them to somewhere, I don't know, but it just doesn't feel.
I think it's a slamming indictment on the SNP, and I think that therefore, actually, Nicola Sturgeon should stop banging on about independence and get her own house in order. What you do about
the Catman?
Yeah, get your own house in order first.
You've got absolutely damning indictment of society.
You've got Catmen dragging themselves around the streets of your post-industrial towns. Maybe get that sorted.
Had their legs broken 50 years ago, and they still can't get a job.
Yeah, I mean, how bad's it going to get if you don't have the money being pumped up to you from Westminster?
One assumes there'll be at least 70 to 80% Catman, the projections have shown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Catmen aren't allowed to vote, though, of course, because the system's corrupt.
That's interesting, isn't it?
That's very interesting. Oh, Neil, that's an interesting thing to notice? It is, isn't it?
You can't vote with a paw print for some reason.
Strange how that's turned out, isn't it? I wonder who that helps.
Yeah, follow the authority, Chris. Spookiness, yeah. But as you can tell, no, not terribly spooky. I don't think it's real, so I don't sort of get into that. So but bearing that in mind, let's give it a 4.
4. So speaking of the Catman himself, not terribly spooky. Although if you came across him, you've been out, had a few drinks in Greenock, you're walking home, some
portly lad crawling around covered in oil eating a rat.
Yeah, probably
he wouldn't be unterrified.
Yeah, it'd probably be quite scary. And, you know, if it turns out he is just someone who's hard up on his luck.
I don't mind him. He lives in the gut.
Oh, he's all right. Don't worry about him. He likes it. Yeah, I mean, if it is that someone's fallen through society's safety net, then Neil, you know, isn't that spooky? Shouldn't a society really be judged on how it treats its worst off? So for that reason, I'm giving
compelling point, Chris.
For that reason, I'm giving it a 6. Believability, 10. Neil.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, there's video and photographic evidence. It's clear as daylight.
Mm-hmm.
9.
9. Narrative premise, Neil. I mean, it's a rich story, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Ex-Russian.
I mean, he's got about 4 different origin stories.
Ex-Spasnos.
Yeah. What are the Ned's afraid of, you know? Why is he so keen on rats?
Mm-hmm.
What does he know about the local kebab stuff that we don't? Considering he says that a valid alternative.
That he'll eat both equally.
Yeah.
That he turns his nose up at the kebab in favour of rat.
Well, he'll have one if he has to.
No.
If it's a rat on off, we'd rather go with that. Yeah, I think there's there's been a film made out of it, albeit a short.
Yeah, Marvel film.
It's probably not the richest mythos that you could mine, but I think there's something here. I think looking into the origin stories, I think you could do I reckon you could do like a one series on
comedy,
probably on Netflix, True Detective or something. But how did he become the Catman? Then we could, you know, discover the alligator man of Kalamazoo or something in the next one.
Mm. So number,
if it was a bit rubbish. Oh right, yeah, that's 7.
7. I mean, do you know what? Like, it's got some originalness to it, so that's good. The whole.
There's a bit of cinema verite about it as well.
Yeah,
just feeding them kebabs. That's quite adorable in a way.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's a bit. It's a bit the League of Gentlemen, this sort of town, and no one knows about it outside town, but in the town, no one blinks an eyelid that there's this rat man. So, kind of, there's something about it. You know, and his story, you know, has it yet been told, or is there more to come? That's the thing.
Don't know, do we?
That's the thing. So I'm going to give it a 6. And reach. Well, not massive. It seems like it's very well known in Greenock and maybe other areas of Scotland, but I've not heard of it, and I don't know that it's known abroad particularly. Is there a lot about it on the internet, Neil, or is it mainly Reddit stuff?
Yeah, no, it tends to mostly coming out of Scotland by the looks of it.
Okay.
There's a bit and piece if you search for this specific thing, but you need to know the term to kind of stumble across it, really.
And it's got the YouTube thing. Everything has, but it's got had a film as well. So I'm going to give it a 3, Neil.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4 just because I think it's got a little bit of, got that capacity to go around a bit more via viral media and stuff. But yeah, I think you agree with you. It's not, it's probably not that well known outside of Scotland. It's more of an internet thing, but still
not bad though, Neil. That's a 50 overall. Pretty big numbers for the Catman.
The local boy.
Well done, yeah, well done, Catman. Local lad done good. Yeah. Or not local lad. Or Russian dissident done good. Who knows?
He's local now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's local. He's one of us.
He's one of the boys, isn't he?
Yeah, so do have a look at the video. It is quite funny, and make your own mind up. Let us know what you think at legends.podcast@gmail.com. I know you won't. And leave us a like or whatever, or comment on whatever platform you listen to. If you have the time, we'd appreciate it. It'd be nice to get some positive affirmation. But yeah, I mean, that's been a fun one, or not at all fun and really dark.
Depending on how you want to view it.
Still not sure yet. So this has been a production from the Greenock Tourist Board, who are our sponsors today. And
we hope you think we did a bang up job for you.
Yeah,
we think you found the most compelling facet of your fine city.
Yeah, and we talked about the local culinary
exposed
delights.
it to the air like a dead rat. So
so we'll be back next Thursday, but I'll leave you with this. Go visit Greenock. Goodbye.
Yes. Goodbye.
Antennae. Server. USB. Wi-Fi. Chip and pin. Visit.